What happens when the money in your bank account becomes worthless overnight? It's not a movie plot, it's a reality witnessed in places like Venezuela, Zimbabwe, and Bosnia. When supply chains break and pharmacies close, gold and crypto won't save you. Real value shifts to ordinary items that solve life or death problems. In this video, we're revealing the 12 everyday supplies you can get for cheap right now that will become more valuable than gold in a crisis. These aren't fancy gadgets, they are the essential, practical items that history proves become priceless when systems fail. What are they? Let's dive in. 1. The power to purify. Securing your water lifeline. The absolute foundation of survival is not food, shelter, or security. It is clean water. When the complex systems that deliver safe drinking water to your home grind to a halt, the clock starts ticking with terrifying speed. A societal breakdown doesn't wait weeks to affect water supplies. It can happen in a matter of hours. The electrical grids that power treatment plants, the supply chains that deliver essential chemicals, and the skilled technicians who perform constant maintenance are all fragile links. The moment one fails, the entire system can collapse, leaving millions facing a dire situation. Most people have never truly considered the journey water takes before it flows from their tap. This disconnect from the source creates a dangerous sense of security. In every historical collapse, from ancient civilizations to modern crises, securing a source of non-contaminated water becomes the immediate, overwhelming priority. Stockpiling bottled water is a good first step, but it is an incomplete and unsustainable solution. The sheer volume and weight of water make it impossible to store enough for a prolonged crisis. A family of 4 would need over 100 gallons just to survive for a month, and that's a conservative estimate. The real solution lies not in hoarding water itself, but in possessing the means to make any water source safe. This is where the true value emerges. Contaminants and pathogens that we have relegated to history books, such as cholera, dysentery, and typhoid, make a swift and brutal comeback when sanitation infrastructure fails. A simple, portable water filter can process thousands of gallons, effectively neutralizing these invisible threats and turning a questionable water source into a life-sustaining resource. A single high-quality filter, costing less than a family dinner out, can provide more life-saving potential than a safe full of precious metals. The ability to purify water is a skill and a tool that makes you invaluable. In post-disaster zones, those who could create clean water were not just survivors, they became leaders and providers, capable of trading this essential commodity for food, medicine, and security. Diversifying your methods, combining portable filters with purification tablets and chemical treatments, creates redundancy. This multi-layered approach ensures that if one system fails or is exhausted, you have immediate backups ready to deploy. Water is life, and the power to purify it is priceless. 2. The unseen killer. Why medical supplies outweigh gold. In the chaos that follows a societal collapse, the most prolific killer is often silent and microscopic. It isn't the threat of violence or the pangs of hunger that claim the most lives. It is infection. A simple cut, a burn, or a blister. Minor inconveniences in our modern world can quickly become a fatal wound in an environment without access to basic medical care. When the pharmaceutical supply chain breaks down, this grim reality arrives with shocking speed. We saw this during the aftermath of major natural disasters, where pharmacies were among the first places to be emptied. People weren't just looting, they were desperately seeking life-sustaining medications like insulin and heart medication, understanding that resupply was uncertain. The shelves were cleared in days, not by organized efforts, but by a population suddenly aware of its own fragility. The value of a simple tube of antibiotic ointment skyrockets when it's the only thing standing between a loved one and a life-threatening infection. Building a robust medical stockpile is one of the most prudent investments you can make, and it is surprisingly affordable right now. Think beyond a basic box of adhesive bandages. Your kit should include substantial quantities of gauze, medical tape, sterile pads, antiseptic wipes, and potent antibacterial ointments. These are the foundational tools for effective wound care. Furthermore, consider the items that healthcare professionals rely on daily. Disposable gloves, N95 masks, rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and iodine solutions. These supplies are crucial for maintaining a sterile environment and preventing the cross-contamination that leads to rampant infection. In historical collapses, individuals who had the foresight to stockpile these basic medical goods became pillars of their communities. They were able to treat injuries, manage infections, and provide a level of care that was otherwise non-existent. This is not about performing complex medical procedures, but mastering the fundamentals of first aid and infection control. The knowledge of how to clean and dress a wound, when combined with the right supplies, transforms a potentially tragic situation into a manageable one. This preparation is an investment in life itself, far more valuable than any currency or commodity. 3. The universal barter tool. Ammunition in essential calibers. Let's address a reality that is often uncomfortable, but undeniably critical in a collapse scenario. The role of ammunition. With a significant portion of the population owning firearms, the demand for ammunition will not just continue, it will explode. We have seen clear previews of this phenomenon. During the economic uncertainty of 2008 and subsequent periods of instability, ammunition vanished from store shelves almost overnight. Common types like .22 LR became nearly impossible to find, and when they did surface on the secondary market, prices had inflated by 1,000% or more. This illustrates a fundamental truth. Ammunition possesses a unique, multifaceted value that intensifies dramatically during a crisis. Its worth extends far beyond its primary function, transforming it into a powerful tool for survival and a stable form of currency in a shattered economy. The value of ammunition is threefold. First and foremost is protection. When emergency services are overwhelmed and the rule of law becomes unreliable, the ability to defend your family, your home, and your resources becomes a non-negotiable priority. Second is its use for sustenance. As stockpiled food dwindles, the capacity to hunt for game can mean the difference between starvation and survival, and this requires the right ammunition. The third and perhaps most overlooked function is its role in barter. In a world without functioning currency, ammunition in common calibers becomes a universally recognized and highly sought-after commodity. It's durable, divisible, and holds its value because its utility is immediately understood by all. However, strategic stockpiling is key. Focus on the most prevalent calibers: 9mm for handguns, .22-35, 56 for modern rifles, 12 gauge for shotguns, and the incredibly versatile .22 LR. These are the calibers that will be in highest demand. Proper storage is also essential. Keeping ammunition in a cool, dry place, often with desiccant packs to absorb moisture, ensures its reliability for decades. Even for those who do not own firearms, possessing a supply of common caliber ammunition is a wise move, as its value as a trade good is undeniable. 4. The pocket-sized miracle. The unmatched value of reliable fire. In the landscape of survival, few things are as fundamental as the ability to create fire. It is essential for boiling water to make it safe, cooking food to make it edible, providing warmth to prevent hypothermia, and signaling for help. While many focus on complex fire-starting gadgets, the true champion of reliability and efficiency is the humble disposable butane lighter. There is a profound lesson in the first-hand accounts from survivors of modern sieges, like the Bosnian War, where a simple lighter was considered more valuable than a power generator. A generator is loud, attracts unwanted attention, requires a constant supply of scarce fuel, and is a prime target for theft. A lighter, by contrast, is silent, easily concealed, and provides thousands of instant flames with no skill required. Its self-contained design makes it incredibly resilient. The psychological advantage of having a reliable fire starter cannot be overstated. Imagine being in a high-stress situation. You are cold, wet, and exhausted. The last thing you want is to struggle with a ferro rod and damp tinder, your numb fingers fumbling as anxiety mounts. A quick flick of a lighter produces immediate results, providing not just a flame, but also a crucial morale boost. This is where a 99-cent lighter outshines an expensive piece of specialized survival gear. Its brilliance lies in its simplicity and dependability. Unlike matches, which are easily ruined by moisture, a butane lighter's fuel is sealed within a durable plastic casing, protecting it from the elements. I have personally tested lighters that were stored for over a decade, and they functioned as if they were brand new. This longevity and reliability make them the perfect barter item in a post-collapse economy. They are small, lightweight, standardized, and their immense value is immediately apparent to anyone. Buying lighters in bulk is an incredibly low-cost, high-reward preparation. Vacuum sealing them in small packs with a moisture-absorbing desiccant packet ensures they will be pristine when you need them most. Distributing these packs across your home, vehicles, and bags creates a redundant network of fire-starting capability that is quite literally priceless. 5. The ultimate multiplier. Securing food independence with seeds. While immediate survival focuses on water and medicine, true long-term resilience is built on the ability to sustain yourself. After the initial shock of a collapse subsides and the last cans of food are scraped from the pantry, a profound and universal truth will dawn on the unprepared: the urgent need to grow their own food. In that moment, the perceived value of traditional assets like gold and currency will evaporate, replaced by the tangible, life-giving potential contained within a single seed. Seeds represent the ultimate currency in a world forced to rebuild from the ground up. Their value isn't based on speculation or market confidence. It is rooted in the fundamental laws of biology. You cannot print more seeds, nor can you counterfeit them. They are the engine of self-sufficiency, offering a return on investment that is literally exponential. A single bean seed, planted and cared for, produces a plant that yields dozens, if not hundreds of new beans, each a seed for a future harvest. This is not just survival, it is the foundation of wealth in a new paradigm. However, the type of seed you store is critically important. The majority of seeds sold in large commercial stores are hybrids, specifically engineered by corporations for high yield in a single season. The catch is that these plants are often sterile or produce offspring that do not resemble the parent, a built-in obsolescence that forces gardeners to buy new seeds every year. For true self-reliance, you must focus on non-GMO, open-pollinated heirloom seeds. These are varieties that have been passed down through generations, selected for their stability, flavor, and resilience. They breed true, meaning the seeds you save from your harvest will produce the same quality plants year after year, indefinitely. This creates a closed-loop system of food production that frees you from any reliance on a failed supply chain. Historical precedent, such as the victory gardens of the World Wars and the subsistence farming during the Great Depression, proves that the ability to cultivate a small plot of land is a powerful buffer against systemic failure. When a few dollars worth of heirloom seeds can be traded for critical supplies or services, their value becomes almost infinite. A starving person who has exhausted all other options would trade almost anything for the means to produce their own food. Storing a diverse collection of seeds suited to your climate, from calorie-dense crops like beans and squash to nutrient-rich greens and tomatoes, is a low-cost, high-impact preparation. Remember to keep them in their original dated packaging to maintain their credibility and trading power. 6. The morale booster. The unexpected power of caffeine. It might seem trivial to discuss coffee and tea in the context of a major crisis, but overlooking the power of caffeine is a significant mistake. Consider the daily routines of hundreds of millions of people who depend on their morning coffee or afternoon energy drink simply to function. This isn't just a habit. For many, it is a genuine physical dependency. Caffeine is the most widely consumed psychoactive substance on the planet, and when the supply chain that delivers it is severed, the effects of mass withdrawal will be swift and severe. Headaches, lethargy, irritability, and an inability to concentrate will plague a population already under immense stress. In a survival scenario that demands peak physical and mental performance, long hours of manual labor, sleepless nights on watch, and constant decision-making, caffeine transforms from a simple luxury into a critical performance-enhancing tool. The energy and alertness it provides can be the deciding factor in completing a vital task or defending against a threat. Beyond the purely physical effects, the psychological value of caffeine is immense. In a world stripped of its comforts and routines, the simple act of brewing and sipping a hot cup of coffee or tea can be a powerful anchor to normalcy. It provides a moment of peace, a familiar ritual that can restore a sense of control and boost morale in the face of overwhelming chaos. Never underestimate the importance of these small comforts in preserving mental and emotional health during a protracted crisis. This deep-seated need makes caffeine products an extraordinary barter item. They are lightweight, store for long periods, and are universally desired. A simple jar of instant coffee which costs little now could be traded for valuable tools, medical supplies, or information from someone desperate to stave off withdrawal or simply feel human again. When preparing, diversify your caffeine stockpile. Instant coffee and tea bags are space-efficient and have a long shelf life. Caffeine pills offer the most condensed form of the substance, ideal for bug-out bags or discreet trade. Powdered energy drink mixes are another excellent, easy-to-store option. The demand for this simple stimulant will be persistent and widespread, making it one of the most reliable and valuable trade goods in a post-collapse economy. 7. The versatile commodity. Alcohol for medicine, morale, and trade. In a world without functioning infrastructure, the value of alcohol extends far beyond simple recreation. It becomes a multi-purpose tool with applications in medicine, mental health, and commerce, making it an incredibly valuable asset to stockpile. First and foremost is its medical utility. Long before the advent of modern antiseptics, high-proof alcohol was a primary agent for disinfecting wounds and sterilizing instruments. In a situation where a minor cut can lead to a fatal infection, the ability to properly clean an injury is paramount. While dedicated medical supplies like rubbing alcohol are ideal, potable spirits like vodka or whiskey serve as a functional backup. Furthermore, alcohol has been used for centuries as a potent analgesic. When access to dentists or doctors is impossible, the pain from a severe toothache or a minor injury can be debilitating. A small amount of strong liquor can provide temporary but crucial relief, allowing a person to rest or function when no other options are available. Stories from medics in austere environments confirm that people will trade almost anything to escape unbearable pain. Second is the undeniable psychological aspect. While some may view it as irresponsible, it is a pragmatic reality that in times of extreme and unrelenting stress, people seek relief. The constant fear, physical exhaustion, and emotional trauma of a collapse scenario take a heavy toll. A drink can offer a temporary escape, a brief respite from a grim reality that helps maintain sanity. This demand does not disappear in a crisis, it often intensifies. History shows that even during periods of scarcity or prohibition, a market for alcohol always persists. Finally, this consistent demand makes alcohol a premier barter item. Vices are often the first luxuries to disappear from shelves, creating immediate scarcity and high trade value. People who are addicted, or those who simply crave a moment of normalcy, will be willing to trade valuable goods for it. For stockpiling, the strategy is key. Focus on high-proof spirits like cheap vodka and whiskey in small, manageable bottles. Pint or airplane-sized bottles are perfect for trade, allowing for numerous small transactions rather than forcing large, inefficient barters. They are durable, store indefinitely, and their value is easily understood. A modest investment in a case of small liquor bottles can translate into significant trading power when other forms of currency are worthless. 8. The foundation of health. The critical role of hygiene. In the hierarchy of survival needs, hygiene is often relegated to an afterthought, dismissed as a mere comfort. This is a dangerous and potentially fatal oversight. In a world without reliable sanitation and medical care, basic cleanliness becomes a primary line of defense against disease. When you can no longer wash properly, the consequences extend far beyond feeling uncomfortable. Poor hygiene is a catalyst for illness, creating the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and pathogens. Skin infections like cellulitis, fungal rashes, and respiratory illnesses can spread rapidly through a community when basic cleanliness breaks down. Digestive diseases caused by fecal-oral contamination become rampant. Conditions that are easily treatable today can quickly become life-threatening in a collapse scenario. The historical record is clear. During prolonged sieges and societal breakdowns, from medieval plagues to the siege of Sarajevo, disease often claims more lives than violence or starvation. Survivors consistently report that one of the most sought-after and valuable items was simple soap. The desperate need to feel clean was not just about comfort. It was an intuitive understanding that filth leads to sickness and death. The barter value of hygiene products is immense, precisely because they are both essential and consumable. Everyone needs them, creating universal demand. Once a bar of soap is used, it is gone, creating an ongoing need and consistent opportunities for trade. Stockpiling these items is a low-cost, high-yield investment. Focus on the fundamentals. Bar soap is more space-efficient and lasts longer than liquid soap. Toothbrushes and toothpaste are critical, as a dental abscess can be an agonizing and deadly affliction without a dentist. Feminine hygiene products are absolutely essential and frequently overlooked, making them an incredibly valuable trade commodity. Travel-sized versions of shampoo, deodorant, and toothpaste are perfect for barter, as they represent small, divisible units of value. Razors, dental floss, and even nail clippers all contribute to health, dignity, and a sense of normalcy that is psychologically vital during chaos. The simple act of being clean provides a massive boost to morale, helping to preserve the mental fortitude required to endure. Assembling a large tote dedicated to these basic hygiene supplies costs very little today, but could represent a fortune in trading power when society can no longer take cleanliness for granted. 9. The power of repair. Extending the life of critical gear. In any long-term crisis, there is an unspoken force of decay that relentlessly works against you. Entropy. Everything breaks. The gear you rely on for shelter, warmth, and mobility will inevitably fail under the strain of constant use. A backpack strap will fray, a boot sole will delaminate, a shelter will tear in the wind. In a world without retail stores or online delivery, you cannot simply buy a replacement. The ability to repair your existing equipment becomes a paramount survival skill, and the supplies that enable these repairs become extraordinarily valuable. This is the overlooked aspect of preparedness, not just acquiring gear, but maintaining its functionality. Every item you own, from clothing to tools, is a finite resource. Without a way to mend and maintain them, you are simply managing a slow, inevitable decline into destitution. The obvious hero of this category is duct tape, but a true repair kit goes much deeper. It should be a versatile arsenal of adhesives, fasteners, and materials. Think of items like zip ties, which offer incredible strength for quick, secure fastening. Consider superglue for precise bonding, or a two-part epoxy like JB Weld for creating permanent structural repairs on metal and hard plastics. A spool of paracord provides not just cordage but also inner strands for sewing, while baling wire can hold together items that would otherwise be lost. Lubricants like WD-40 are essential for preventing the rust and seizure that destroys tools and mechanisms. The value of these items was starkly illustrated during widespread power outages, where something as simple as a pack of zip ties became worth a premium to a neighbor struggling to secure a tarp over a broken window in a storm. The ability to solve a critical problem in minutes rather than hours is a powerful demonstration of value. This capability extends the life of every other asset you possess. A $200 sleeping bag is rendered useless by a single large tear, but with a patch kit, it remains a life-saving tool for years. The person who possesses not only the supplies but also the skill to fix things becomes a cornerstone of their community, able to trade their service for food, security, or other vital resources. 10. The spark of modern life, the enduring need for batteries. Imagine a world plunged into darkness the moment the sun sets. Imagine your emergency radio falling silent, your flashlight failing, and your essential medical devices becoming inert pieces of plastic. This is the reality of a grid-down scenario for anyone who has not stockpiled batteries. These small, unassuming power cells are the lifeblood of nearly every modern portable device. In any emergency, from a localized natural disaster to a full-scale societal collapse, batteries are among the first items to vanish from store shelves. The rush is immediate and absolute. While others are grabbing bread and water, the prepared are securing the power that will allow them to see in the dark, gather information, and maintain communication when all other systems have failed. Without a reliable source of power, you are effectively blind and deaf to the world around you, a dangerously vulnerable position. A strategic approach to stockpiling batteries is essential. The most common sizes, AA, AAA, and 9-volt, should form the bulk of your supply, as they power the vast majority of critical devices like flashlights, headlamps, radios, and walkie-talkies. However, do not overlook the importance of specialty batteries. Coin cell batteries for watches and small electronics, or specific types for medical equipment like glucometers and hearing aids, become priceless to the individuals who depend on them. Because fewer people think to stock these, they become powerful and unique barter items. Your strategy should incorporate both disposable and rechargeable options. High-quality disposable lithium batteries offer a very long shelf life, making them perfect for long-term storage and trade. Meanwhile, a system of rechargeable batteries paired with a portable solar charger provides a sustainable, long-term power solution for your personal needs. This dual approach ensures both immediate readiness and future resilience. The trading power of a single pack of batteries in a blackout cannot be overstated. You are not just trading a product, you are trading light, information, communication, and the ability to operate life-sustaining medical equipment. 11. Vyram, the captured flame, fuel for cooking, heat, and light. When the electrical grid fails and natural gas lines cease to flow, humanity is thrown back to its most fundamental needs, the ability to cook food, generate heat, and create light. A reliable and portable fuel source that can address all three of these problems becomes an asset of immeasurable worth. Small 1-pound propane cylinders, commonly used for camping, are nearly perfect for this role. They are standardized, easily portable, store safely for years, and their utility is instantly recognized by everyone. A single canister can fuel a camp stove to cook multiple hot meals, run a portable heater to ward off life-threatening cold, or power a lantern to illuminate a space for many hours. The value of propane skyrockets in any situation where the primary infrastructure is compromised. People with freezers full of food but no way to cook it, or those in well-insulated homes that are slowly freezing, will quickly recognize the immense value held within these simple green tanks. The genius of the 1-pound propane tank lies in its efficiency as a unit of trade. Unlike a large stationary tank that is difficult to divide, the small cylinders are perfectly portioned for barter. Does someone need to cook for their family for a day? One tank is the solution. Does a neighbor need to heat a small room for a single frigid night? One tank is the answer. This standardization removes ambiguity and makes for clean, straightforward transactions. Investing in a few adapters that allow you to refill these smaller canisters from a larger 20-pound barbecue tank dramatically multiplies your capability, turning a finite supply into a more sustainable resource. Of course, the fuel is only one half of the equation. It is equally important to stockpile the devices that use it. A simple single-burner camp stove, a reliable propane lantern, and a catalytic heater are relatively inexpensive today, but become enabling technologies in a collapse. Possessing both the fuel and the means to use it makes you a provider of critical services, capable of trading not just the propane itself, but the cooked meal or the warm shelter it can create. 12. The white gold, the forgotten necessity of salt. On a list filled with tools and technology, the most essential and historically significant item may be the one most easily overlooked: salt. We take this ubiquitous mineral for granted, but its importance to human survival is absolute. Throughout history, salt has been so valuable that it was used as currency. The very word salary derives from the Roman practice of paying soldiers in salt. This value comes from two core non-negotiable functions. First, your body cannot live without it. Salt is essential for regulating hydration, nerve function, and muscle movement. In a high-stress survival situation involving physical labor, you lose vast amounts of salt through sweat. Without replenishment, you face muscle cramps, dizziness, and eventually, organ failure. In a world without processed foods, which provide the majority of our modern salt intake, salt deficiency becomes a real and present danger. The second critical function is food preservation. Long before refrigeration or modern canning, salt was the primary method humanity used to preserve meat, fish, and vegetables, allowing food from a successful hunt or harvest to last for months instead of days. The ability to cure meat is the difference between feasting for a week and starving for a winter. This ancient technology becomes cutting edge in a world without electricity. Salt also possesses significant medical uses, from creating a saline solution to clean wounds, to gargling with salt water to soothe a sore throat and fight infection. Its antibacterial properties are potent and reliable. What makes salt a truly perfect preparedness item is its permanence. It never expires. Kept dry, salt stored today will be perfectly viable for your great-grandchildren. It is incredibly cheap and can be purchased in large 25-pound bags for a minimal cost. In a collapse scenario, most people will not have thought to store extra salt. When their shakers run dry, when their food is bland and unappetizing, and when the need to preserve a precious source of protein arises, your stockpile of this simple white mineral will be worth more than its weight in gold.